Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa.
I already started recording, and then when I connected, it said recording in session. Like,
Konnichiwa. Okay, we'll wait for Simon to join, then we'll start doing some revisions straight away because we've got quite a packed session today.
should I be scared?
No. It's going to be fun.
That's the scary
Hi,
part.
Simon.
When you say it's fun. It's
Yeah.
kinda easy.
Let's start as a warm up. Let's look at these, shall we? And start. Let's start at the bottom with something a bit easy. Hang on. Okay, Jock, how about small pills are easy to swallow? おはようございます。
小さい玉が、飲みやすい。To know, swallow.
Yeah, that's it. 飲みやすいです。ね。
です。
はい。Very good. Cool. Piotr, it is easy to die if you drive quickly. Can't hear you, Piotr, but you're not muted on Zoom. Ah, that's it. I think it's working now.
Is it now?
Yeah, that's it. That's good. That's it. Yeah.
早く運転すれば
Good.
死にやすいです。
Very good. Yes. Konstantinka, katakana is not difficult to write if you memorize hiragana.
It's katana is not difficult.
Oh, sorry. Katakana ne. Right.
It's okay. Katakana is not difficult. If you write, okay, so I have to use even the conditional. If you memorize hiragana.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you. Am I blocked?
No, I can hear you and see you. Yeah. You okay, Konstantina?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we didn't stop hearing you.
It's the internet is very slow.
Oh, for us you look fine. You're moving at the right time and you're speaking and we can hear you.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
because
you're
for
not
me
freezing.
it says it's that it was frozen, internet unstable. Oh, whatever.
Ah, no, it's fine. Yeah.
So to memorize, I don't remember this verb.
This is
honestly.
oboeru. Oboeru.
Ah, yes. Oboeru. So moshi, hiragana o oboeta.
Oboeta.
It's blocked again.
No, you're not. Oh, I can hear you. I just stopped halfway through the word. I'll keep moving like this so you know that we're not frozen.
Yeah, please do.
So it's hiragana, moshi hiragana o oboeta, and then you need another syllable, don't you, to make the condition.
Oboetara.
Oboetara, yep.
Oboetara, okay. Okay. Katakana o.
Yeah, okay. Katakana o, yeah, katakana o is fine.
Difficult to kaku. It's not difficult. Kaku. Kaku ni kunakata desu.
Not kaku, but we have to turn the verb into the masculine.
Kaki.
Good. Kaki.
Kaki ni kunakata desu.
No, you're putting the past tense instead of the negative of the adjective.
Kaki kunai desu.
Kaki ni kunai desho?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Kaki ni kunai desu.
No, kaki ni kunai desu. There's two kus in the middle. Kaki ni kunai desu.
Kaki ni kunai desu.
Very good. Yes, kaki ni kunai desu. Excellent. Simon, Italian is easy to understand if you have been there before.
Italia ni how was that thing again?
So
Something
plain past tense. Who can help rather than me helping? Who can help Simi?
you want to do played past tense? I thought
I want the experience.
experience.
Yes,
yeah.
I want the experience.
ことが、行ったことがあります。あれば。
Areva, good.
イタリア語話しやすいです。
Yes, good. So hanashi yasu is fine. This is understand, so you might
right.
say
わかりやすいです。
very good. Yes. Can you make the whole sentence one more time?
イタリアに行ったことがあれば、
はい。
イタリア語わかりやすいです。
Very good. Yes. イタリア語がわかりやすいですね。
イタリア語がわかりやすいです。はい。
Very good. Excellent. Well done. Effie, Enya's music is very difficult to listen. I'm going to change this.
OK。エニアの音楽は、とても聞きにくいです。
Very good. Yes. Excellent. Nazca, my new PC is extremely easy to use if you compare it with my old one. Konnichiwa.
Hi. もし
Yeah.
もし私の新しいコンピューターを私の古いコンピューターと比較すれば、私の新しいコンピューターは非常に使いやすいです。
Really good. Well done. Fantastic. That's quite a long sentence, isn't it? We can probably make it a little bit shorter by starting off with just saying compare it with my old one first. So
I don't remember how to use compare. So
I think you used it, didn't you? I think you used this word.
But
let me go through it with you.
But,
so it's okay. Furui
古いのコンピューター、古い PC?
Oh, let's say パソコン。と比べれば。That's if you
I
compare.
use 比較すれば。
This is fine as well. Yep, 比較すれば is fine too.
古いパソコンと比べら。
比べれば。This should be 比べれば。Yeah. 比べれば。新しいのパソコン。新しいパソコン。It's fine. 新しいパソコン。新しいパソコン。使いやすい。はい、いいですよ。使いやすいです。Very good. Yes. 使いやすいです。Yeah. And extremely? バルツォもっとMotto is more, but maybe you can just use something like とても。使いやすい。もちろん。extreme. もちろん。That means of course. So you can use perhaps 非常に使いやすいです。非常に。I have it. Yeah. 非常に使いやすいです。Very good. Cool. Good. Okay. Let's go to David. Delicious French food is not very easy to make if you don't know how to make it.
Oh dear. Sorry, reverse this in my head now. If you don't know how to make delicious French food, would that be an understand?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. To make tsukurikata.
Good.
I think.
Good. That's it. Good.
Tsukurikata. Tsukurikata ga wakaranakereba.
Very good. Well done.
美味しいフランス料理。Let's try to conjugate this. 美味しいフランス料理が作りやすくないです。
Very good. Well done. Excellent. Well, good job.
Ow. More coffee.
Sophie, why isn't it easy to learn kanji?
Yeah, good question. You know, I study, and after 10 minutes, I forgot everything.
I know the feeling, don't worry.
Okay. No, you know, up till 3:30 this morning, I had to do my tsukudai for my Japanese class. I hope it's ending this month, and after I will be here.
Oh, wow.
100%.
You're doing Japanese classes as well?
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, but it's very, very difficult, you know, anyway.
Really? Yoku ganbattaru ne.
Yeah, we have a Japanese teacher. She's an old Japanese lady, and she thinks that she has to do with 10-year-old children.
That's quite traditional.
No. So, okay, now, why isn't it easy to learn kanji? Nani? Or
not nani, but nande.
Nande.
That's good. Yeah.
Nande kanji de.
Maybe not kanji there, but we actually want to say, yeah, kanji o. Yeah.
Easy is gasui.
Gasui, yes, good.
So, gasui, it's an E adjective. Gasui, yasuku. To learn.
Okay, let me help you a little bit, Sophie, because I think you might be walking down slightly down the wrong road, maybe. So we're doing these are intensifiers. So this is going to be something like, I really want you to isolate this kind of part, the easy to learn or easy to make. So we can start off with just marking the object that we're talking about. So in this case, it would be, what's the thing that we're talking about? What's the subject?
It's easy to learn kanji.
Kanji, yeah, of course. Yeah. So kanji. So we know that that's going to be marked with either wa or ga. I think in this case, we can probably mark it with wa.
Kanji,
yeah.
Wa.
Now, this is going to be a question, isn't it? Why? So we know at the beginning.
So nande.
Yeah, nande or doshite, naze, nande. So we can, yeah.
Nande, kanji, wa.
And then we can make this then. Is that your telephone?
Yes, unbelievable. Just 1 minute.
Yeah, sure. Unplug yourself, otherwise you take the computer with you.
So while Sophie's away, could we ask questions about this one?
Sure, yeah.
Because you're now starting to say that the kanji is going to be subject, but the way it's phrased in English, the kanji is the object, rather.
Yes, so
and
we can...
we can is transitive as well.
Word is yes. But we can go both ways. So we can either say, why are kanji difficult, why aren't kanji easy to learn? Or we can say, why isn't it easy to learn kanji? Both are fine. This is why sometimes you can use o to mark the thing, and sometimes you can use ga They basically end up with the same meaning sentence. It's just expressed in a different way.
Of course, is one of the two forms prevalent in Japanese, or both used in Japanese as well?
Instinctively, I'm not saying this is correct, but my instinct was that ga is grammatically more consistent.
Really make the kanji the
point
subject.
Of focus.
And then I'm assuming you will go for what is it, oboerareru then? They are passively easy to not easy to learn.
Oh no, you can say you can actually mark the object and say, for example, I think Sophie's off at the moment. You can say narai nikui desu.
Narai.
Yeah, or manabu or oboe. You can put the verb into the transitive form because it's it's a person who would be learning the object.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If it's you're not making it the object here, you're making it the subject.
But
yeah.
You can answer that question easily if you say who isn't or what isn't easy to learn. So that would make it immediately the subject. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
If I understand your question, so if you ask in English who isn't easy to learn, you can say kanji. So it doesn't. I guess that's why you can make it a subject, because.
No, I know you can make it a subject, but to be learned and to learn are two different things.
Right.
In this case, we want the kanji to be difficult to be learned.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they are not doing the learning. That's what I mean.
Sure. So I know that I know exactly what you mean. You'd be marking the objects and saying, why aren't these subjectively? Intransitively. Why don't we mark it intransitively? So this kanji is difficult to learn, but the way it's expressed in Japanese is actually the same way we express it in English. We don't say a car is difficult to be driven. We say a car is difficult to drive, and it's the same in Japanese. You say kuruma wa, kuruma ga, or kuruma o unten shinikui desu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Just if you want to satisfy your what's the word, your inquisitiveness about that, why not use the intransitive? Because this would say that it's difficult for the kanji to be learned, which means that there is some difficulty in the kanji kind of being learned itself. But that's not the point, is it? The point is that people find it difficult to learn kanji. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Sorry
Hi. So that's okay. No problem.
Okay.
No problem at all. So we've now basically got most of the sentence. Sophie, we said why our kanji, and then we just need to create this intensifier, easy to learn.
So we have manabu. Yes.
Manabu.
So manabu. So yasui. So we do the mass form mabimas. So it comes mabi.
Not mabi.
Mabu.
You just made up. That's the
Mabu,
verb for making mapo
mabu
tofu. It's manabu. So in the mass form, this would be
manabu. Manabimas.
Manabimas. Good.
So it's the manabi yasui.
Yes. And then so manabi yasui is correct to this point, but this is saying, why isn't it?
Yasui kunai. So it comes.
Good.
Manabi yasu kunai.
Yep. Good. And then desu ka. Very good. Yes, exactly. Desu ka. Nande kanji wa manabi yasu kunai desu ka? Desu ka. Yes. Excellent. Good. Cool. I just want to make sure that what I just said about using either is fine. Let me just quickly grab this space here a second and stick on here. It. So, for example, let's pick one of these. My feet are difficult to wash. Ore no ashi ga arai yasui Was it difficult? My feet are arai nikui desu. And ore no ashi o arai nikui desu. Okay, so both of these will lead you to the same meaning sentence, but one is saying my feet are difficult to wash. This one is saying it is difficult to wash my feet. This is kind of the most direct way that I can kind of translate it into English. You can see that the two English sentences basically are the same. Basically are the same. I mean, even if you said, well, is that because with this one here, isn't this stressing that your feet are the cause of why they're difficult to wash? And maybe this one here is because you've got a bad back. But actually, that is not specified in the sentence. It's not indicated that the feet are the cause or something else is the cause in this. So both of these sentences mean basically the same. Basically the same. Okay, how many time? I'm pretty good. Right, let's move on to a quick refresher of last week, which was hurrah, numbers and counting.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so we will do some exercises, but we won't do the really complex numbers. Oh, they weren't complex numbers, were they? They were real numbers. The complicated numbers that we had last week.
Ones.
Yes, yeah. So just a quick refresher. So this is who hasn't seen this slide before? Anybody?
Well, I didn't. I was just listening last Tuesday.
Ah, okay.
So I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a quick jump through. So as you can see here, these are the standard counting units. And unlike the Western counting system, they don't go up in thousands each time. So we just have to memorize these. So to the power of 10, they follow no pattern, no real pattern whatsoever after man. So they go up in ones for up to 10,000, and then it goes to 10 to the power of 8, and then 10 to the power of 12 for probably some kind of Chinese astrological reason. Actually, that probably is the reason. So if we want to make a number like, let's pick one which is slightly less than one of these. If we want to say 10 million yen, unfortunately, that's really right between oku and man. So we would have to say sen, man, en. Isn't it? Hi. Okay. What other things is there to say? Right. So for example, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, that's easy. Ichi, sanchi, etc. Up to 10, and then from 10 to 20, we don't have to say ichi ju roku to say 16. We just say ju roku, and then we go ni ju roku, san ju roku, etc. The same behavior happens with hyaku. We don't have to say ipyaku to say 100 and something, like ipyaku goju. You just say hyaku goju, and then when you get to 200, this is ni hyaku. The pronunciation of hyaku is very similar to the pronunciation of the kata numbers in Iaido. So hyaku is just hyaku, ni hyaku, sanbyaku, like sanbonme, yon hyaku, yon honme, go honme, go hyaku, ropponme, roppyaku, nana honme, nana hyaku. Hachihonme is sometimes pronounced as happonme, and we would say hapyaku, hapyaku with a plosive p, hapyaku, rather than hachihyaku. If you said hachihyaku, you'd be understood, but it sounds like kind of childish. Kyuhyaku, and then sen. Sen is also, we just make 1,000, it's just sen. We don't have to say ichi-sen. Do you sleep okay, Nazca? No? Oh dear. Okay. Then nisen, sanzen, yonsen, gosen, roksen, nanasen, hassen, rather than hachisen, kyusen, and then we get to man. And then from man onwards, if we say 10,000, we have to say ichiman. So 10,100 would be ichiman hyaku. And the same thing with oku. We say ichi oku, ni oku, san oku. We don't have to change the pronunciation of these because they're not subject to that change. And I've never counted up to a cho before because I'm not counting pesetas ever. So I think it's icho, nicho, sancho. So we do say ichi cho, but it's icho, icho. Whew. Okay. There's a few other notes on here that we should probably add. Actually, we'll just move these around slightly. To plus, minus, multiply, and divide. Plus is tasu, minus is hiku, multiply is kakeru, and divide is either waru or wakeru. These are both the same. And then to say equals, you can either say wa, or you can use the Japanized word ikoru. Decimal point is 10. So 3.5 is santengo. There are various ways in which you can express a mathematical statement, but the easiest way is to say x variable, then the function, y variable, wa, result, des. So for example, 1 plus 2 equals 3 is simply ichi, tasu plus, ni is 2, wa means equal, san, des. Easy peasy. There are other ways of saying this, but this is by far the easiest way. Okay, is there anything else on this? Oh yeah, we had these ones over here. If you want to do ratios or verses, then the term is tai. This goes between the two numbers. So 3 to 1 would be san taichi, or 3-1 in a competition would be san taichi. You can use tai for both of these.
Did you add this after Tuesday?
No, I think we put it in the last lesson, didn't we, Chuck?
Mm.
Yeah, this was on Friday evening, I think.
So.
Have you not seen this?
No, not
It
this
wasn't
one.
last week. Yeah.
And the decimal point was not there either.
Oh, okay. So this is the consequence of going out clubbing on a Friday night, Piotr. To your roller disco derby. If you want to say percent, then you can just use the normal percent system. But what I should stress is that you have to extend this this is parcento. Sorry, parcento. If you just say percento, it's unlikely you'll be understood. I'm not sure why, but every time I've made the mistake of saying percento, people look at me quizzically. So you have to say parcento. Often, though, instead of using percent, Japanese people use tenths. So, for example, where is it? It's 1/3 shiburoku. Yeah, what was the
shiburoku, wasn't it? 4/10.
Yeah. This was one way of doing it, Jock, but it wasn't there. Isn't there a an actual like 30%? Isn't it santen? Or oh god, oh, that's annoying. It's not even down here. Hachiwari, 1/3. Pretty sure it's santen. So 3 points means 3/10. Santen. In fact, it sounds the same in Japanese as it does in English. 3/10. Santen. I'll have to come back to you on this actually, but usually Japanese people use portions of 10 to say 4/10, 5/10, etc. If you want to make a fraction, then we just do the same thing that we do with divide. We can, for example, 8/10 would be hachiwari ju. Or you can say, this is actually reversed to the way that we would usually use it. You would say 3/1 no ichi, so 1 part of 3. 3/1 no ichi.
Yeah, I wish. Is it Sanbun as in 3 parts, so 1 of 3 parts.
Yes, yeah,
okay.
1 of 3 parts. Yeah, exactly. So this is 1/3.
And that you can use that as well as Sanbun no ni?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, it doesn't have to be single numerators. Yeah, you can say Jubun no hachi. Go ahead, Jock.
If we're doing worry, then waribiki is quite useful to learn, isn't it?
Ah, yeah, let's write this in. Waribiki. So the word discount is this is funny actually. It combines 2 of these arithmetical terms. It uses wari, this one here, divide, and then biki. So it means divide and minus. So this is wari biki, to mean discount.
And often just abbreviated to sanwari.
Ah, so this is what 30% off, is that?
Yes, yeah.
So sanwari means 30% discount.
So it's implied that it's 30 if you say san.
Yeah, yeah. I think this comes back. This brings us back to this tenths system that they use. Yeah.
And there I was worried that French numbering was very complicated.
Ah, ce n'est pas difficile, mais grande. Japonaise est très facile, n'est-ce pas? How to murder languages.
So the Shiburoku, that is 4 to 6. So is it a ratio? It's not used for matches. It's only used for a ratio out of 100.
So
or out of 10. In this
well, it depends. What you have to do is add this one and this one together, and these are fractions of the total.
Okay.
Yeah. So shibushi would be half.
Half, yeah.
Okay.
It's easy to remember because you just think where you must put your hands in kuritsuke.
Yeah. Shiburoku. So four parts between your hands and 6 parts on the other side of the chair.
And why is shibushi half?
It's 4 over it's 4 and 4 over the total of 4, which is 8. So it's 4 over 8, which is a half. This is just an example. It's not necessarily going to be expressed this way. Half wa han desu. Ka half desu. You can either say half or han. Okay, let's do some easier. Hangaku. Half written.
Half off, isn't it?
Hangaku. I don't know. Hang on.
Oh, maybe not. I've got it wrong.
I don't know. Could just be that I haven't picked it up before.
That's half price as well.
Hangaku. That's all.
You tell I shop on the cheap always.
Hangaku, yeah, half the amount of money, half price. Hangaku.
Or school for samurai children.
Yeah. Hangaku wa hangaku desu. Isn't that amazing? That school for samurai children is at half price. Cool. Shall we do just an easy number transformations? I won't do the same kind of crap we did last week with just smashing my head against the keyboard and asking you guys.
Easy. It's not easy.
Easier. Okay, let's. I'm going to copy the main ones onto the whiteboard. Let's do something a little bit more regular. How about Guys, you want to start working through these as I write them up? If you can just do them in your head, then you don't have to write them down. I can't myself, but. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Let's start with Jock. Would you like to start with the top one?
Not really. Hachijuman.
Hachijuman. Hey, Piotr, this one.
Hanhoku.
It is there.
Is that used actually or not?
What to say?
I know you do. No, Hanhoku.
You would be understood, but I don't. It's that people tend not to use it, like Hanzen or Hamhyaku. Nobody uses it.
Yeah, but that's it's okay.
You could probably use 0 10 go oku, but again, people go, huh? And then they kind of try and work it out in their head what you meant, and actually work it out the long way instead of doing something easy like this.
Okay, Gosenman.
Gosenman. Gosenman. Hey, Konstalinka. This one.
Okay. I'm a little bit confused. Should I put it Ichiman, Niman, Gosen?
No, this would be, you basically have to, as Piotr said last week, you have to move the decimal point. So imagine there's a decimal point there instead first.
It's not a decimal point.
Sorry, what did I say? What is it? Sorry, a comma rather. Comma. Sorry. Not decimal point.
So like a Juniman.
Yes. Juniman.
Gosen.
Gosen, good. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And then Effie. Nice easy one, Effie.
Bye. Okay. I don't know. I will just try.
Okay.
Gosh. Yeah. Well, I don't know exactly when do we say the oku, or so I just wrote nana. What did I write? Nana hyaku goju oku.
No, this is already a certain number of okus, isn't it? If you compare this with this.
But what about the 50? I don't know. What about the 50?
So you have to get the oku out the way first.
So nana oku.
Yep.
Okay. Nana oku. And then 50. Go. How much is that now? I don't know. I really don't understand how to do it. Okay. So I don't put the what is that? Goju. Gosen. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't understand when do we say the big numbers and when do we put the oku, when do we put in the big numbers? I really.
Okay, so let's take this. Let's do this one as an example. I'm going to write it out just as a continuous string first. Yeah. That's it, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh no, there should be a 5 there. Is that it? That's it, isn't it? Okay, so you should probably. I think you can start from the beginning, can't you? So you can do. There's the hundreds. There's the ju. Hundreds. There's the sen. And then there's the man, and then we've got the okus are right up here.
Okay, so what do we say first, the big one or the last one?
The big one first.
That's then nana oku.
Yeah. So you've done that, nana oku. And then you
Okay.
to express this number and make it man. This is the number of man you've got. So this is going, let me just write this in. Oku.
Gosen.
So, sorry, Effie, just to make it easier to understand, for everybody to understand. This is man. And then this number here would be the sen, hyaku, ju, and then units at the end, of course.
So, but the man would be still like, oh God, I don't know how much man is that.
So
50.
What is this number?
50.
This
50.
No. Is
5,050.
Is this why Greece is in such horrible financial turbitude at the moment?
But like I would say, so then go sen.
Yeah.
But go sen. Go ju man.
Good. Hey, that's it.
Ah, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. You finished.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Simon, this one.
7250
Good. 7250. Nazca, this one.
199.
99. Good. Exactly. And David, this one.
3480.
Very good. 400. 400. 400, you're right. Yeah. 480. And then Sophie, you get the easy one at the end. Oh dear.
I don't know. My life is so difficult. And so ni oku.
Very good.
Oh, ni oku. Sen man.
It is Kyusen man, but you've still got this number of man left to include as well. So it's Kyusen, and then you have to do the 505.
505. So it's go 100. Yoshaku. Yoshaku. Goju.
Not Goju. Oh, sorry, it is Goju. Yes, Goju. Oh no, it's not. No, it's not. No. So it's 505. So go hyaku go, and then you've got the final counter.
So go to.
It's this. Then it's this man. Exactly.
Okay. So
yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Ni oku kyusen go hyaku go man.
And he was my not Hachi man, not Hachiju man.
Hachiju man. No, this is correct. Hachiju man. Yeah. So there's the 10th. If I'd remove the decimal point. Yeah. So the first one we come to is there. There's your 10,000. Sorry. No, it's there, isn't it? That's your 10,000 there. That's the man. And then you just say it's this number.
Okay.
Hachiju man. Yeah. I know, guys, I know this is actually quite difficult, but I also found this immensely difficult before last week. I had no idea. And I've delivered this lesson, I think, maybe 3 times now. Just doing this similar sort of exercise, and I'm now finding it a lot easier. So this is really something that you just need to do a little bit of practice with, and it will become a lot easier. So if you are horrified at the idea of counting high numbers in Japanese, then just put 30 minutes aside and just set yourself some exercises like these. Just practice, really, just practice. It will become easier. I mean, what can be more instinctive to humans than counting? It'll come. Exactly. How many Shinken's worth is this? Okay. Any questions about counting, guys? Too much Batania? Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to today's subject. Now, today is the perfect storm of having Piotr and Simon here at the same session. So I'm going to, at some point, I'm pretty sure you're going to ask a difficult question about this. And I'm going to say, actually, I don't know. And maybe if you speak to 3 different Japanese people about the question you're going to ask, you might get 3 different answers, depending on their visualization of the answer. And you'll see what I mean when we come to it. Let me just do this as a build because it's easier for you guys to copy then. Just a second. Okay, so today's subject is verbs modifying nouns and multiple tenses. We've kind of done this already a little bit, especially on Sundays, but I want to dedicate this lesson to studying it and understanding it. So usually we use nouns to be marked as objects and we apply a verb to them. For example, tempura o tsukurimasu, or hashi ga tsukaemasu. Yeah, that's correct. Or hashi ga tsukaemasu. I can use chopsticks. Eigakan ni ikimasu and kuruma o unten shimasu. Okay, so sometimes we use or, sometimes to mark direct action verb against an object. Sometimes we use ga to indicate potential to do something. Sometimes for movement verbs we use ni to mark the direction, and sometimes again we use o to mark the object or the way in which we are going to do something. Now we can also use verbs before a noun to modify. Excuse me a second, I've got to just shift this window around.
We also include de.
De as well, yeah, by way of yeah, we can use this too. But we can also use verbs before a noun to modify the noun itself before we go to incorporate that noun into the rest of the sentence. So we can basically use verbs as adjectives. Like this, for example. I'm just going to repeat that last sentence because it was the most critical part of this lesson for Sophie. We can put verbs before nouns and it makes the verb into an adjective, like this. So we put the verb into the plain form and then the noun, and then we can insert that noun, that modified noun, into the sentence that we want to make. So we might finish it with des, deshita, de wa arimasen, tabemasu, kaimashita, etc., etc. Are we all okay so far? Sophie, that was a kind of uncertain twitch of the head. Was that yes, it's fine, or yes, this seems more easy than I thought it was going to be?
I'm just waiting for an example.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. It will come. It will come. So we will call this verb the modifying verb in comparison with other verbs in the sentence. Okay. The tense of the modifying verb, whether this is in the present, the future, or the past, so I should say present continuous, future, or past, also says something about the status of the noun. So here comes the examples. Tsukatta naifu desu. So tsukatta, to use or used, this is in the past tense. Naifu, this is knife. Desu, this is the knife I used. Okay, it's the knife I used in the past. So I used this knife. This is the knife that I used. Tsukatteiru naifu desu. This is the knife I'm using. scale knife. There's this is the knife I will use, or as we find in Japanese, if we have the plain present tense here, what we might think of being the future tense, this also implies something which is regularly done. So you could say, scale knife des, this is the knife I use all the time. Scale knife des. So let's have a quick practice now, shall we? Just using this kind of same format. How would I say, let me start with Sophie. How would you say, this is the movie I will watch? This is the movie I will watch.
Wait, this is the movie, Eiga. So we have Miru. Miru. So we will the movie that I will see. Kono. Well, it comes like a kono eiga ga.
If you use kono, it does this. Yes. It does. So you want to say kore wa, this is kore wa.
Kore wa eiga.
No. Ga? This is this part here is the thing that you should be looking at. So we've had kore wa before anyway.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Miru. It will become simple miru. Miru katte. Mite.
No, miru, plain form. This is the movie I will watch. So this is in the future. So miru remains as miru. This is the plain present tense. Miru. Or we can think of it as the future tense.
Miru desu.
No. We need to make this structure.
The noun, the eiga. Miru, eiga. Des.
Okay. Whole sentence, please.
Kore wa eiga.
No.
No. Oh my goodness. Kore. We said kore. The miru. My goodness. See, I forget.
That's okay. That's why I've written it down for you.
Miru eiga desu.
Yes. Kore wa miru eiga desu. David, are you playing chopsticks with your cat?
I'm trying to stop her knocking a vase over.
Oh, okay. With chopsticks. This is the lamp I use.
Used or used? Sorry.
Use on a regular basis.
Skaurampudes.
Yes. Or yeah, you can say korewa skaurampudes.
Korewa skaurampudes.
Yes, good. Naska, this is the pen I write. No, not this one. Let's do. This is the coat I wore. This is in the past tense. This is the coat I wore.
Kakeru, haku.
No. So for coat, this is just the simple.
Coat. I know. I don't remember the right verb for to wear. Wear something on.
Who can help? Kiru.
これは、着る、ことです。
Okay, so this means this is the coat I wear in the future or on a regular basis, but the coat I wore in the past tense, so you would say.
So, past tense. これは、着るかったコートです。
Kiru's past is a group 2 verb. So.
着かった。
No. Think of group 2 verbs. Kiru. So the ru is gone and is replaced with.
I don't remember.
Kita.
Kita.
Yeah.
来たこ、これは来たことです。
Yes, good. これは来たことです。Simon, this is the burger I am eating.
これは食べているバーガーです。
Very good. Yes, これは食べてるバーガーです。Effie, this is the piano I am playing.
これは弾いているピアノです。
Very good. Yes, good. Konstalinka, this is the coffee I made.
これは、使ったコーヒーです。
Not 使った. This means used.
Made. つける。
つく。So sorry, 作る。Sorry, 作る。Yeah.
作ったコーヒーです。
Yes, good. 作ったコーヒーです。Piotr, this is the book I read.
これは読んだ本です。
Good. And Jock, this is the frame that I repaired.
これは直した角縁です。
Very good. Yes, good. Okay, cool. So each time, guys, in this case, we took an object and we said, this is something that we will wear, that we wore, or we are doing something to it now. You know, it still retains the nature of this modifying verb. So in each case, we've said des. The reason why I've underlined these examples here is to say this is. So it still retains that nature. So we've said des at the end of each time. Okay, so far?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, good. Right. Now, in these examples, the tense of des, whether it's still current, as in des, or not current, as in deshta, also says something about the verb. For example, skatta naifu des. This is the knife I used. What does this mean?
This is the knife I was using.
Right. This is the knife I was using. This was the knife I was using. Yeah. Now, this sounds funny, really, doesn't it, to put it like this? Why not say, this is the knife I was using, in comparison with, this was the knife I was using? What's the difference?
It's not different for the Italian, at least, because we have many different past tenses.
Right. This is the problem that we're doing today, which is a multitude of tenses. Piotr, dozo.
Well, it's not a knife anymore, maybe.
Right, so it could be it's been turned into something else, or it could be. Go ahead, Simon. Go ahead.
Maybe you don't have it. Maybe you only have a picture of it or a
right.
description of it. Or...
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Or it broke, or you've replaced it with another one. This was the knife I was using. Now this is the knife I'm using. Yeah. So therefore, we can use deshta can be used to suggest that something doesn't hold the same status as it used to. This is really the only difference between using des and deshta. By saying deshta, you are suggesting that it doesn't have the same status as it used to. Here is an example. これは毎日運転する車でしたが、先週からこれは毎日運転する車です。So what does this sentence mean?
So this was the car that I used to drive every day.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
But since was it week? No, that's not weekend.
It's last week.
Last week.
Yeah. So this is the car that I'm driving.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Good. Good. Exactly this. This was the car I drove every day, but from last week, this is the car I will drive every day. Yeah, good.
Can I ask something for that?
Of course.
Could that also be with a different modifying verb? Like, for example, I mean, now that's just plain, like a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be also like a past modifying verb, or a present continuous modifying verb, or is it just to always show a habit that we used to do in the past? Do we always use?
I think congratulations, you joined the Piotr and Simon complex
I
questions.
thought that happened already.
One of us.
I thought that was the case already.
So this was what I was sitting and stewing over my tea this morning while I was reading this. Should this be unten shita kuruma, or unten shite iru kuruma, or unten suru kuruma? And the answer is I don't know. This is the point, I think, where if you ask 3 Japanese people, they might say you can use any of them, or they might say 3 different things and disagree with each other. If you want to look this up on the internet, I wish you luck in your journey to find out the absolute grammatically consistent answer to this. You'll probably find a 50-page linguistics paper on it.
Is this one of those points where just the average person just uses it the way they feel, and then you really need to get into deeper literature or studies to truly understand the basics of the language, which
think so.
Nobody really cares about?
Yeah, I think this is the case. People just get by with the kind of the way that they were taught. I'm pretty sure that you won't find a Miku Sensei episode about this, if that's any reference. It certainly isn't. I don't think it's in this book, which takes you up to, at the end of it, is basically takes you up to the level you're roughly at now. And it doesn't go into that much detail. This is detail purely set aside for you people who treat Japanese like quantum physics.
Can I? So, for example, if we go back in the first, in the Tsukatta knife desu, does it also imply that we replaced it, or that it changed? No, because the knife still exists. If I say desu, that the knife is still here, but I only used it yesterday to cut vegetables.
Right, exactly.
But if you do this thing now with the car, that means that you completely replaced it, but it was also a habit of you.
Yes.
But it could be, for example, if I would say unten shita kuruma deshita ga, maybe I just, it was a rent car and I used it only once. I mean, it can be quite clear and like this. No, it's not that.
One of us.
I really love grammar things, so that's why I'm asking that.
This is what I was wondering about as well, is that on the basis that this is now talking about the past, although I think the reason why I stuck with suru is to imply that this was the car that I drove on a regular basis. So this wouldn't be unten shita, because that would mean the car that I drove maybe once, maybe twice, or just a number of times, not on a regular basis. Yeah. So if you put that in there, then this is saying this was the car that I once drove.
Yeah. But it can exist. I mean, it's not so complicated if you consider it, for example, like it was a rent car, from the garage, I drove it like 2 days because my car broke.
Yeah.
But now that's my car.
This is why I didn't write it this way, though, because I think if you say, for example, if I just jump into English for a second, this was the car that I once drove.
Did you drive it once, or did you drive it in the past time?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like I drove it once, and now it doesn't hold that status anymore. How can that be?
I returned it to the rent-a-car.
But it doesn't change the status of it. You still drove it once. That's why I said.
It can be even, I mean, I have on books mostly, I've found it once, like even a very old habit, but done and finished. I was once doing that. It was one moment in the past, not specific for how long or whatever. I found it in books, this one.
But the item still retains that history.
Yeah.
If you say des, it means it still is the car that you drove in the past. If you say deshta, it suggests that it doesn't have that history anymore. This is why I think it's unten suru kuruma. If you want to say it's something you did on a regular basis, but you don't use it regularly anymore, it no longer has that status. If you say deshta, it's lost the status of being the regularly driven car. But if you say this is the car that I drove, then this would be unten shita kuruma des. It still retains the history.
I should be again des then. That's what you.
Yeah, exactly.
This begs the question: if it's unten shita kuruma deshita, did you once drive it and then stop and then start driving it again?
Black hole, retain.
This is, I think, the sum of history's problem.
So is wall here a particle or is it a wave?
This is the problem. So I think I'm going to assume that my rationale is the correct one. So if we use, if we're talking about something that was done on a regular basis, you're talking about this car that you drove all the time, and you want to say, I don't drive that car anymore, then this stays as unten suru. I think you can probably replace this with unten shite iru kuruma deshita as well. You can use either suru or shite iru, either the future tense or the present continuous tense. But shita suggests something which has been done and completed and finished. To then say deshita again, you kind of, did that car suddenly wink out of existence? Yeah, it just doesn't really kind of make any sense. So I think this format is the correct one. But I can ask.
Let's say you have the old car, the blue one, in front of your door, and you've stopped driving it for several months, and then you do away with it, and then somebody asks that blue car, "Oh, you mean the one that I used to drive, the one that is not here anymore?"
Or you could say what was here in this space. You could say, but then you say arimashita instead of deshita.
Okay, but it's still. So does this entire story just hold for the des and deshita?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, deshita. You can say that this is suggesting something either finished or no longer the description no longer applies. Yeah, this is, I think, the difference between des and deshita. Yeah. Okay. The last bit I was going to say was, and I've said this already, as the plain present form, example skull, can also be used to describe regular routines, it is sometimes interchangeable with the present continuous tense, like skatteru. So if you want to say, this is the pen that I use every week, kore ga maishu tsukau pen, or maishu skatteru pen, it doesn't matter which sentence you use. Both of these can be used, tsukau or tsukatteru. I mean, the same applies in English, right? This is the pen I use every week. This is the pen I'm using every week. These two sentences are equivalent. Any questions, guys, before we move on? And I'm banning Piotr, Effie, and Simon from asking any questions. Jock, Naska, David, or Sophie, do you have any questions?
Can you leave it a bit longer so I can write it down?
Sure. Yeah.
Is that we do have questions? We had questions. We are having questions.
Shitsumon arimashita ga ima wa kiku ki wa nai desu. I have no intention of asking. Right, while you're writing, I'm going to go and get myself a drink of water.
Is that juniper berry water?
Just a sniffle.
Uh-huh.
trying to think different ways to kind of challenge that rule, but it seems to be. I was thinking if this was the car that you drove, this was the car I drove on Tuesdays, but now it's the car I drive on Wednesdays. It still doesn't change the rule. You still say, これは火曜日に運転する車でしたが、今は水曜日に運転する車です。You still use するor してる. Right, let us move. Let's try some examples. This will become a little bit easier to use once we try some of these out. Come back, Constantina. We've stopped talking about this particular subject.
Run away, run away. It's now, just harmless little bunny.
It's not numbers.
Yeah, we moved. Although I think it did include 50 years ago and 5 million yen here. So we're doing some callbacks. I took the dead cat to my neighbor's house, who lives at number 7,400,000 and 22.
1 million gazillion.
Okay, so I know that some of these you could express these sentences without using a modifying verb, but the purpose of today's practice is you must make a modifying noun from the following. A modifying verb, sorry, that should be verb. Okay, let's do this in a slightly different order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Constantine, have you missed the last 15 minutes explanation? Do I have to do it again?
Oh, no, don't worry. I was just answering Amazon.
Don't worry. There was no way I'm going to repeat the last 15 minutes.
No, it was the part of the if it was, there was, and
exactly.
Don't worry, I heard it.
Okay, good. Yeah. The answer was just do exactly as I say.
Yeah, I'm following this rule. It's Piotr is ruining me because then he made me think.
It is Piotr's ruining things. I know.
I'm making people think. Oh no.
You must know already that after so many languages, you know, Piotr, you have to just go with the flow. Just follow what they do and don't question about it.
Piotr, I was going to say you sound like a particular 7th Dan British person that's not here. Moving on. Right, let's start with Effie. Yep, Effie, you're the one that's been causing problems today. So you can do this first one.
Sorry, not sorry.
This is the pen I write with every day.
これは do we put 毎日 already now?
Yes.
毎日書けるペンです。
Not 書ける, but
how is right? That I write with a kaku. Sorry, oh my god, yes. That was a verb. Kaku, yeah, kaku. Sorry. これは毎日書くペンです。
Yes, good. Simon, over there.
Actually,
yeah.
Actually, I thought the first one was
that you can
difficult,
ask this.
but
Yeah.
okay. Because he actually specifically didn't use that example in the previous slide.
Yeah.
But this is saying that you are writing the pen and not with the pen.
Yeah, this is why I avoided this one because it's kind of a bit weird. これは毎日書くペンです。
Just use. Just.
Kaku ni tsukau pen desu?
Yeah, that's what I was suggesting.
Oh, you just scalp pen would be fine.
Scalp pen this. Right. Okay.
Although I'm not sure. I don't know because this is a verb which is affecting e or kaku, pen or skull. Yeah, this would be skull. Because you're right, this would, if you think of paint a pic e or kaku, then the picture I paint every day would be kaku e. Yeah, so it would have to be mainichi tsukau pen desu. Yeah.
Or maybe if he just writes on the pen, you never know.
Is that your hobby, to write your name on all your pens? What happens if you've only got one
Keep
pen?
stealing my bics.
Like the kids at school, of course.
Yeah.
Or the doctors in the hospital.
Yeah. Bastards. Who stole my pen? Simon, over there is the thief that stole my wallet.
Was it Asoko?
Mm-hmm.
Asoko wa or
this will probably be okay. Let's leave this as it is for the time being. We can come back to it.
Saifu. What was stolen again?
Who can help?
Nusumu.
Nusumu. So that the thief that stole the wallet. Nusumu. Nusunda Saifu.
That's the wallet that was stolen.
Yeah.
But you want to say the thief that stole the wallet. So if we put let's make the words.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Then we can say Saifu or Nusunda Dorobo desu.
Yes. Good. Exactly this. Yeah. And this is fine. This can be Asoko wa or Asoko ni. Doesn't really matter. Good. Excuse me. Konstantinka. This is the tree that fell over 50 years ago.
I'm still alive. Okay.
Oh no, it's it's still there.
Tree fell.
It's not the tree fell. Yeah. It's not me. It's not the tree that fell on me 50 years ago.
Okay, 50 years. Okay, years. Year. Nen.
Good. Yeah. Nen. Yeah.
Okay. Go ju. No. So this is korewa. Let's start with that. Korewa. I'm thinking the order of the end of the words. I don't think there's a Goju Nen doesn't make any sense.
Before?
Mainichi.
Not Mainichi, it's Maini.
Which one of the two we're gonna use? Ochuru or to fall?
To fall like this. This is Taoreru.
Taoreru. Okay. Taoreta.
Good. Taoreta.
Kides.
Yeah, good. Exactly this. Well done. Good. Nazca. There is a car that costs 5 million yen.
They're like Kore or Asoko.
Maybe Asoko is good. Or maybe Arewa.
Arewa.
Yeah.
Arewa. 5 million yen.
5 million yen. Well done. Nice try. That nearly went by me then. For nearly 0.0001 of a second, that nearly went by me.
But they probably couldn't.
Probably could understand. But they could probably understand you if you speak English very slowly anyway. That's not the point of these classes.
Okay. Million, it was Oku. Oh, no.
No. That's 1,000 million.
How? I don't remember.
Let's make it. Let's do a little exercise. Shall we? 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we know that that's the. Well, it's like going back to primary school, isn't it? And learning to count. These are your ones. These are your tens. So there's the units. Then we've got, this is the ju. Then we've got the hyaku. Then we got sen. Sorry, it's not very good if I put space like that. That nearly lines up, doesn't it? And then we've got the man next, which is 10,000. And that should now line up. There we go. So this looks like, there's the units. That's the Jews. Hyakus, sen, man. And then oku is probably much further on down, so we don't need to worry about that. So it's this number of man, right? Yeah.
500万。
500
万。
Yeah.
N. To cost is.
Do you remember?
To cost. Is it? No, I probably.
Can anybody help, Nazca?
Kakaru.
Yeah.
Kakaru. かかる車です。
Yeah, good. 車です。Excellent. Good. Well done. あれは500万円かかる車です。Yes, good. Piotr, that is a sword that cuts well.
それはよく切る刀です。
Good. Yeah, excellent. それはよく切る刀です。Excellent.
Then without the doubt in my voice, of course.
これはよく切る刀だよ。David, she's a student who can paint very beautiful pictures.
Oh, good grief. 女の人はor she?
彼女は
彼女. That was my other one. Okay. 彼女は paint very beautiful pictures. Paint is nuru, isn't it?
Actually, kaku is what most people use. I think nuru is when you're painting a wall.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Kaku.
Yeah.
I think I'm missing half the vocabulary for this sentence.
Okay. So let's start with
kirei something.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yep.
So very, very kirei is
yes. Totemo kirei.
Totemo kirei. What kind of adjective is kirei?
Ni.
Yeah, okay.
Or kirei na.
It depends what you're going to do.
Yeah. Totemo kirei ni. Something jitaku no gakusei desu.
Okay, so let's start from the end then. So it's going to finish with gakusei desu, isn't it? Yeah. So she is a student, and then so this is partial. This is almost done actually, David. Who can paint? So can paint would be. Can write, can paint. Potential form.
Paint, is it kake?
Yep, good. Kakeru.
Kakeru gakusei desu. And the word for painting is gone.
It's e.
E? Oh.
E. Just e.
Ni kakeru gakusei desu.
We just need a particle now here to join the e. Yeah, good. This is a potential form here. So this would be
ga.
Ga. Yes. Good. Okay, let's have a look at it and see what we've ended up with. Kanojo wa totemo kirei ni e ga kakeru gakusei desu. Kirei na e ga kakeru. Kirei ni e ga. I don't think it really matters whether this is ni or na, actually. One is making an adverb, and the other one is turning it into an adjective. And as we've got here, I don't think it really matters.
Is that the same as in ega?
No, no. I'll show you. No, it's this. So by itself is this, which means painting or picture, and ega is this. This is this is just oops, and this. Oops, sorry. Turn off Japanese.
Oh, so it's ega, not ega.
Exactly. Yeah. This is simply this is ega. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Good. Well done. Cool. Good. That was a good one. Jock. Speak in a language that you understand. This is a command.
Wakaru eigo kokugo.
Go.
Ni.
This is going to be de actually though, Jock. Yeah.
Hanashinasai.
Shinasai. Good. Yeah. Good. Well done. Wakaru kokugo ge de hanashinasai. I think if you have trouble pronouncing this kokugo as I do, you can replace this with gengo. Shinasai. These both mean the same thing basically. Kokugo means a national language. Gengo just means language. Piotr.
Why wouldn't you use wakateiru here? Why would you use wakaru, which could be a habit or future?
Pass. Wakaru is a stative verb, so you can use it as a modifier just as it stands by itself. So, for example, a bird that I can see would be mieru tori, because it's a stative verb. Stative verbs act a little bit like adjectives themselves, and you can keep them in their plain present form. Yeah. So you might remember we actually did a bit of a deep dive on wakaru and shiru, to know and to understand. And if you say if you say wakatta, this means I have understood something, which means I now understand something. If you use wakatte iru, this kind of means I know. I know that these are kind of counter to the way we usually apply tenses to verbs, but wakaru is one. Wakaru and shiru kind of become victims to this slight strangeness. Wakatteru means I know, and then wakaru means I can comprehend, I can understand. Yeah. Which is why. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, we have covered this at some point.
Yeah, quite early on. Yeah. Which is why if somebody explains something to you, you should really say wakarimashita, to say I have understood, rather than wakarimasu, which is just a kind of statement saying I can understand, almost like you don't have to explain it to me, I understand. Yeah. Even worse is saying wakatteru, which means I know.
Wakatteru yo.
Wakatteru yo. Yamena.
You use wakaru also in potential.
No, you can't. You have to use wakareru. There isn't. Wakareru means something can be divided. But because so stative verbs are kind of, there's a little bit of a danger sign about stative verbs. They don't behave exactly the same way as normal verbs. And for example, shiru as well, to know. You can't say shireru to be able to know somebody. You can only use, and you can't use shiru by itself either. Shirimasu. There's no verb of shirimasu. There's shiteimasu to know somebody, but there's not shirimasu. And there's shirimasen, I don't know, and there's not shiteimasen. It's really funny. There's just some verbs don't work the same way as others. Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's go on to Sophie. Can the person who ate the cake please stand up?
Okay,
Slim Shady.
Count 1, Tachi, Agat, Rose, so stand up. Let's say tachiagate. No.
This would be the end. This would be the end. Tachi agate kudasai. Please stand up. Agarimasu. Agate.
Agate kudasai. Oh.
Mm.
No. The person. We'll start with the who with a cake. Keiki.
Keiki.
Oh. Tabeta.
Good. Tabeta.
The person. Hito.
Hi.
Hito wa.
Hi.
Oga.
Oga.
Tachi agate kudasai.
That's it. That was it. Well done. Keiki o tapete hito ga. Actually, this would be wa. Sorry, ga rather. Tachi agate kudasai. Cool. Okay, let's do a reading of these guys because we haven't done some reading for a while. So, Effie, if you can spray your screen with crumbs and bits of sandwich, that'd be great. Okay, if you can unmute yourselves, guys. Again, as usual, can you just make sure you understand the sentence meaning before you read the sentence out? So either read it first and then translate it, or read the English. これは毎日使うペンです。
これは
毎日使うペンです。
あそこは財布を盗んだ泥棒です。
そこは盗んだ泥棒です。
これは50年前に倒れた木です。
これは50年前に
倒れた木です。
あれは500万円かかる車です。
あれは500
万円かかる車です。
それはよく着る刀です。
それはよく着る刀です。
彼女はとてもきれいに絵が描ける学生です。
彼女はとても
きれいに絵が描ける学生です。
わかる国語で話しなさい。
わかる
国語で話しなさい。
ケーキを食べた人が立ち上がってください。
ケーキを食べた人が立ち上がってください。
Okay, so far so good. Let's now go through these slightly more challenging ones. So let's go back to Konstalinka. Is that the teacher who is teaching at Waseda?
Is that the teacher? Okay. Waseda de at Waseda, we start with the place. Okay. And because he's teaching reading there instead of me?
This is teaching. So that would be teaching Waseda. So it's not there.
Waseda is a person.
No, it's a university. It's a university.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Waseda ni.
Yes.
Okay. Sensei, no, teaching, oshieta iru sensei desu ka?
Not oshieta iru, but oshiete iru, ne?
Oshiete iru.
Yes.
Sorry, I put it on past.
Sensei desu ka? Well done. That was it. Well done. Excellent. Piotr, is this the chair that John was sitting in?
John, let's see. John was. So I have to make a subclause here, right?
Yes, and all of these. I mean, basically, all of these modifiers are kind of subclauses, really.
John が座る椅子ですか?
Was sitting in.
座った椅子ですか?
椅子ですか?
And then I would start with これは, I'm assuming.
Yeah. これはジョンが座った。座ったか。座っていった椅子ですか?
Why did you remove 椅子?
Oh, sorry. 座っていった.
Was sitting in.
Yeah. He was just quoting. He was not sitting on a chair.
So if you said 座った椅子ですか? This would be fine. If you said
sat on it at some point.
Exactly, yeah. But to say he was sitting in it, then this needs to be the present continuous in the past. Yeah, good. But Effie, please wash the used plates.
使う right? 使う。使った皿を洗ってください。
洗ってください. Now, I'm just going to be a little bit pedantic here. What you've said works fine, actually. This says, please wash the plates that you used or someone used. But just to test your passive form, how about the plates that have been used?
Is it 疲れる?
That means the tired plates.
Sorry?
That means the tired plates.
使う. So it's 使う. 疲れる?
So turn scout. For both passive and causative, make the plain negative first.
使わない. 使わない.
使わない. Okay.
使われる? 使われた?
Good. 使われた.
I'm not sure if I'm forgetting a rare somewhere there.
I know the feeling.
皿を洗ってください.
Very good. It's really good.
使われる, is that passive or is that oh no, that's 使える.
Okay. 使われた. Yeah. It is the passive. It is the passive. Yeah. Okay, good. Simon, have you gone yet? On the second round?
Yeah, no, not with the more difficult ones.
Okay. So you can have a go at this easy one here. Oops. Actually, sorry. We'll leave this for the time being. Let's just do this part here.
Okay. So that's well. Could you just say shinuneko?
Not shinuneko, but that means the cat that will die. What kind of weird sadist are you?
Maybe it's used to dying.
Here's a cat that's going to die. Dozo. Maybe take an exploding cat around your nose.
Okay. So shinu buppi shinda or
yes, yeah.
Shinda neko o the neighbor.
I think this is Kinjo.
Kinjo.
It's Totoro.
Totoro?
Neighborhood.
Right.
Rinjin?
Renjin, is it? Rinjin.
This
this one, neighbor. Okay.
Kinjo is this one.
Neighborhood, yeah. I think if you still okay, let's use rinjin. I think you can use kinjo no ie still the house in the neighborhood, but let's use rinjin then.
Oh.
So, rinjin ni agemashita, maybe.
So took. So to take something would be it's a compound verb.
Tori agemasu, or tori, no, not agemasu, the other one, the
to carry or to
yeah,
take.
Tori motteimasu. Tori
motte.
Tori mochimasu.
Motte, and then to go.
I took, but
it's not actually, it's not a compound verb, it's a te forming verb.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you would say, you would add iku.
Yeah. Yep. And in the past?
Motte ikimashita.
Very good. Yes. Shinda neko o rinjin ni motte ikimashita. Good. So although shinu, to die, is technically the verb, the verb to die, Japanese people are avoid saying the word shi, death. So instead of that, you use the kind of verb which means to pass away, which is naku naru. Naku naru.
Right.
So if you put this in there, Simon, what would you have?
Naku natta neko.
Yes, good. Naku natta neko o rinjin ni ikimashita. Good.
Right.
Cool, good. Jock, look towards the enemy who is coming to cut you.
Kite kuru teki ni. Mukai ni mite kudasai, no,
I think you can just use mite kudasai here, actually.
Mite kudasai.
Yeah.
There's no please there, is there?
No, so if you want to turn this into a command, then you would say
Mite nasai.
Either minasai.
Minasai. Okay.
Or mite, just mite by itself.
Mite yo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, mite yo. Kite kuru teki ni minasai. Good. And then Nasuka, move closer to the people who cannot hear you.
Move closer. 人の声が聞こえない。
So you need to make the kikoenai and hito pair.
聞こえない人に。
Good.
To come closer.
Okay, this is possibly a new verb for some of you, not to others. It's chikazuku. Chikazuku.
Chikazuite.
Yep, good. Right? Yes, exactly. Chikazuite kudasai. Very good. Cool. David, I'm going to have to make one up. Just a second. Throw away anything that you don't use regularly. Okay.
All right.
Is that your was that your toothbrush?
No, it was a glasses cleaner.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Don't use. Is that tsukanai nanika?
So let's just make sure we get everything in there first. So regularly would be, this means often.
Anyone who uses mainichi?
This could be used, but you can anybody help David for the word often?
Yoku.
Yoku.
Yoku, yeah. Yoku. And then, so what's the verb to use? This is
Tsukau.
Tsukau. And then the negative, plain negative would be?
Oh, tsukawanai.
Tsukawanai, yes. Tsukawanai.
Tsukawanai nanika.
So nanika means something for things.
Anything?
You could just use mono. Mono. This means items.
Oh, yeah.
Mono.
I haven't used that one in a while. Tsukawanai mono, or to throw away. Nagashite.
You would be understood. You would be understood with nagashite, but steru is the thing to dispose of. Steru. Do you remember stemi from Tanjo? Stemi?
Yes. Yeah.
This is steru and body, to sacrifice.
Yeah. That's that means literally to give up.
Yeah.
As in to
give something up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So steru would be
sutete.
Yes, good. Sutete.
Good outside.
Yeah, good. Okay, excellent. Well done. Good. And then Sophie, let's see. Second. Please tidy away the tools that you used.
Please tidy away the tools that you used. Okay, we'll start from the end. Kudasai.
It's a good guess. Yeah.
We have said everything. Tools that we use.
Sophie, can you move your mouth a bit closer to the microphone, please?
Tidy. Tidy is something like shido, sodo.
So the verb that I use is katazukeru. Katazukeru.
I didn't know that one. Katazukeru. To tidy. And the tools are tsuru?
One more time? Oh, tsuru you could use. This normally means computer tools. Who can help Sophie for the word tools, as in?
Dogu.
Dogu. Dogu.
Dogu.
Dogu. Dogu. Tsuru.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Sophie. Can you move your mouth?
Dogu, tsuru.
Dogu. Sorry, tsuru means tool.
To put away what?
Okay, so look, we want to make
many unknown words.
Okay, so used. We've just used it in the example above.
Okay, so we have tsukawanai.
Good. So to say a used tool would be not sketa, but close. One more time.
Not a temp to get. It was used to
Tsuka. So tsuka would become in the past tense.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let me help. How do you put skao into the te form?
Tsukawate?
No. How'd you put skatte? Skatte. Now to put this into the plain past form.
Tsukata.
Skatta. Skatta. Skatta dogu. And now we've nearly finished. I'd like a particle here.
Oh, the tools that you used. Katazukeru kudasai.
And then katazukeru, this needs to be put into the te form.
Katazukete.
Yes, good. Skatta dogu o katazukete kudasai. There we go. Done. Not as difficult as you think. Skatta dogu o katazukete kudasai. Okay, cool. Let's read through these guys. If you can unmute yourselves, please, everybody. Excuse me. Come on, let's go, Konstantina. Unmute yourselves. Get ready. Prepare your singing voices. Wasada ni oshiete iru sensei desu ka?
Wasada ni
iru sensei desu ka?
これはジョンが座っていた椅子ですか?
これはジョンが座っていた椅子ですか?
使われた皿を洗ってください。
使われた皿を洗
ってください。
亡くなった猫を臨時に持ってきました。
亡くなった猫を臨時に持ってきました。
来てくる敵に見なさい。
来てくる敵に見なさい。
聞こえない人に近づいてください。
聞こえない人に近づいてください。
よく使わないものを捨ててください。
よく使わないものを
捨ててください。
捨ててください。
使った道具を片付けてください。
使った道具を
片付けてください。
Good. So this is kind of a funny one, this one, isn't it? Please tidy away the tools you used. Please means please tidy away the tools that you used. Maybe this should be please tidy away the tools that you have finished using.
Or the tools that you've been used.
Yeah, I mean, so the skatta dogu does mean the tools that have been used. Ah, I see what you mean. Okay. Konstantina is baiting me to use the passive form. That have finished being, okay, we'll do this now. That have finished being used. Okay, well baited. So, Konstantina, how are you going to do this one then?
I knew it. I knew why I opened my mouth. Finished and being used. But Jesus Christ, superstar. Okay. Okay, I can do it. Tsukao owaru. Tsukawaru. The verb.
So it's, it'll be skayawaru, right?
Tsukawaru. And we need to put it in passive form because we are masochist. Tsukayowararemashita.
Skayawararemashita. Skayawararemashita. Hai.
Dogu.
Etc. Cool. Okay, so who can spot the problem with this?
The particle?
It's too long.
It's too long, yeah. There's actually something grammatically inconsistent with this.
Actually,
it's not like a typo or anything like this, but there's something wrong with this.
There is a typo though.
Oh, sorry, there is a typo, isn't there? Yeah, it's sorry, yeah, you're right. Tsukayo, yeah, sorry.
Is it owarare? Is it owareraremashita?
Owara. So this is at the moment been
password.
converted.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that's right. This has been converted correctly, but there's something not quite right grammatically.
You need to put it to the plane.
Ovararetta.
Sorry, owareta.
That was my mistake. Okay, owareta.
Still something grammatically wrong. This is only chewing gum for us for the moment. This isn't like a proper part of the exercise. This is just an interesting diversion. Oh, okay, let me explain it to you then.
Is there not an intransitive form of to finish as well?
This is the intransitive. Oeru.
Should it be oeru?
Should be oeru. Yeah, it should be the transitive form. Yes. Let's go this. So the shit's okay. Effie, can you now do this one? No.
Wait, oeru, oerareru. So tsukayo erareta.
Sorry.
A lot of vowels in there.
It sounds like Belgian, doesn't it?
Like Italian.
Tsukayo erareta.
Yes.
Exercises for the mouth.
Tsukayo erareta togu. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, well done. Well spotted. Cool. We've got kind of 4 minutes left, guys. So what I would suggest is if you need to go, then by all means go. I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes just doing some hiragana practice if you want to join for this. Cheers, Job. See you soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, Sensei.
So we'll carry on doing a little bit of sa again this week because we didn't really do it every single lesson last week. If you can grab your pens or brushes or what are they called? That's the one. Well done.
Are you in sa?
Yes. Yeah. Did we lose somebody else just now?
Yeah, I wasn't here last Tuesday, so I don't know what you did. That's why I'm.
Oh, okay.
I didn't download the new ones.
We didn't do Tuesday. Yeah. We lost Nazca. Okay. Right. So let me just. I think I'm going to stop recording now. So, Piotr, you've gone inaudible again.
Oh no! I'm driving into a tunnel. There goes my connection.